Hello, Sims. This is Principal Beckett sharing with you our February book of the month, which is Each Kindness. And it is by Jacqueline Woodson, illustrated by E.B. Lewis. And of course, our theme for February is kindness. And of course, it is Kindness Week, where we're showing all of our friends and staff members and teachers here at Sims that we can be kind. So hopefully you've had opportunity to take a photo in front of our Be the I in Kind book. And this book is not necessarily about ways to be kind, but in this book we're going to see a student who wasn't very kind to her classmates. And so it's going to teach us an important lesson about making sure that we're always kind, because we never know when we may or may not see someone again. So let's see what happens in the book Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson, illustrated by E.B. Lewis. That winter, snow fell on everything, turning the world a brilliant white. One morning, as we settled into our seats, the classroom door opened and the principal came in. She had a girl with her, and she said to us, "This is Maya." Maya looked down at the floor. I think I heard her whisper, "Hello." We all stared at her. Her coat was open and the clothes beneath it looked old and ragged. Her shoes were spring shoes, not meant for the winter. A strap on one of them had broken. Our teacher, Miss Albert, said, "Say good morning to our new student," but most of us were silent. The only empty seat was next to me. That's where our teacher put Maya. And on the first day, Maya turned to me and smiled, but I didn't smile back. I moved my chair, myself, and my books a little farther away from her. When she looked my way, I turned and stared out the window. And every day after that, when Maya came into the classroom, I looked away and didn't smile back. My friends that year were Kendra and Sophie. At lunchtime, we walked around the schoolyard, our fingers laced together, whispering secrets into each other's ears. One day, while we were near the slide, Maya came over to us. She held open her hand to show us the shiny jacks and tiny red balls she had gotten for her birthday. "It's a high bouncer," she said, but none of us wanted to play. So Maya played the game by herself. That afternoon, when we got back into the classroom, Maya whispered to me, "Bet you can't guess who the new Jacks champion of the world is." Behind me, Andrew whispered, "Chloe's got a new friend, Chloe's got a new friend." "She's not my friend," I whispered back. The weeks passed. Every day we whispered about Maya, laughing at her clothes, her shoes, the strange food she brought for lunch. Some days, Maya held out her hand to show us what she had brought to school. A deck of cards, pickup sticks, a small tattered doll. Whenever she asked us to play, we said no. The days grew warmer and warmer. The pond thawed, and grass began growing where snow once had been. One day, Maya came to school wearing a pretty dress and fancy shoes. But the shoes and the dress looked like they belonged to another girl before. "I have a new name for her," whispered Kendra. "Never knew. Everything she has comes from a secondhand store." We all laughed. Maya stood by the fence. She was holding a jump rope but did not come over to us and asked if we wanted to play. After a while, she folded it, doubled it, rolled the ends around each of her hands and started jumping. She jumped around the whole schoolyard without stopping, but didn't look up once. She just jumped, jumped, and jumped. The next day, Maya's seat was empty. In the class that morning, we were talking about kindness. Miss Albert had brought a big bowl into the class and filled it with water. We all gathered around her desk and watched her drop a small stone into it. Tiny waves rippled out, away from the stone. "This is what kindness does," Miss Albert said. "Each little thing we do goes out like a ripple into the world." Then Miss Albert let us each drop the stone in as we told her what kind things we had done. Joseph had held the door open for his grandmother. Kendra helped change her baby brother's diaper. Even Mino Andrew had done something. "I carried my teacher's books up the stairs," he said, and Miss Albert said it was true. I stood there, holding Miss Albert's rock in my hand, silent. "Even small things count," Miss Albert said gently, but I couldn't think of anything and passed the stone on. Maya didn't come to school the next day or the day after that. Each morning I walked to school slowly, hoping this would be the day that Maya returned and she'd look at me and smile. I promised myself this would be the day that I smiled back. "Each kindness," Miss Albert has said, "makes the whole world a little bit better." But Maya's seat remained empty. And one day, Miss Albert announced to the class that Maya wouldn't be coming back. Her family had moved away, Miss Albert said, and she told us to take out our notebooks. It was time for spelling. That afternoon, I walked home alone. When I reached the pond, my throat filled with all the things I wish I would have said to Maya. Each kindness I had never shown. I threw small stones into it over and over, watching the way the water rippled out away and away. Like each kindness, done and not done. Like every girl somewhere holding a small gift out to someone and that someone turning away. I watched the water ripple as the sun set through the maples, and the chance of a kindness with Maya being more and more forever gone. All right, and that is the end. So again, this book was not necessarily about how we can be kind, but it was a lesson to show us that we must always be kind to people because we never know when we're going to see them again. And then Chloe, the character in this book, she's now regretting how mean she was to Maya because she never gets the opportunity again to be nice because Maya moved away. So as you're working with your classmates each and every day, as you're with your teachers each and every day, you always want to be kind because we never know when we may not see that person again. We may never know when they may move, or of course something may happen to them and we never get a chance to say sorry. So I shared this book with some of you on Read Aloud Day, and we talked about the word regret. And we see that Chloe is regretting how she treated Maya, and she's regretting that she hasn't gotten a chance to show that each kindness that goes out into the world. So as we're kind to one another and you're kind to someone, and so we just want to have the phrase that we're going to spread kindness around like confetti, and that means that we spread it everywhere we go. So just remember to always be kind, always be thoughtful, and always follow our essential agreements, and one of those is to always be kind-hearted. All right, hope you enjoyed the Principals Book of the Month, and I'll see you next month.